Back to reviewing She-Hulk because, like I said last time, I need Marvel content. This comic starts with Jen and Titania, or Titania, I've heard both pronunciations, fighting, but they're not fighting. They are just sparring partners now, as Titania's best friend Volcana cheers her on, who, like Titania, was created by Doctor Doom, which Jen references how Doctor Doom just kind of forgot about both of them. Also, side note, while writing my notes for this video, I had to add Volcana into my personal dictionary because my laptop kept on trying to autocorrect Volcana to Volcano. Anyways, the Thing shows up asking if he can join the fight sparring club. And Volcana then replies by revealing she also wants to join. And now the four of them have a sparring club, which I hope has more of a presence the next couple issues because I really like this idea and I love seeing all of these characters together. And their banter I thought was pretty in character with them. For a lot of times I would say comedic comic books like this one sometimes will take characters out of character in order to make more humorous jokes. Here all four of them are in character. Last week I said the Thing was kind of out of character, but here he's very much like the Thing from the Fantastic Four comics. So I really appreciate how they have very funny banter with one another, but it doesn't come across as either hurting the characters or coming across out of character for them. Anyways, afterwards, She-Hulk and the Thing go out to a diner, and they talk about Thing's upcoming court date, with Ben discussing how he wishes Black Bolt got caught instead of him. But he can't exactly ask the King of I almost said Atlantis, the King of Atlantis to come to Earth just to go to court about his dog not being on a leash. Anyways, Ben then starts to ask how Jen has been, as he's there for her emotional support because she deals with a lot of trauma from the time she was still Savage She-Hulk. And here's something I really like is that between their friendship, it really comes across like they're genuinely friends. Not even just associates or, partners of crime fighting, but like they're legitimately friends. And the reason why I point this out is because last issue I made a complaint about Hellcat, because Hellcat last issue was really just not a good friend to She-Hulk, despite the fact they were referring to each other as best friends. Hellcat last issue genuinely did not care about any of her problems and just continuously talked about how thirsty she was over Jack, who to her she thought was dead. Yeah, I mean, yet again, the Hellcat in the Iron Man comics at the same time this comic was coming out. Well, this issue came out, that series ended recently. But in that series, Hellcat was known for being infamously not the nicest to Tony, like nearly driving him into alcoholism again. Yeah, Hellcat, in my opinion, is really a hit or miss. Sometimes she can be an interesting character, sometimes she's nails on a chalkboard and you just want to kick her into the ocean. Anyways, we should continue on this comic rather than Hellcat as a character, because personally, I'm getting a little bit annoyed at Hellcat, in my opinion. So I'm happy she didn't show up here, and I thought the Thing genuinely had Jen's best interests at heart. I also really like seeing a character who is like the Thing and She-Hulk interact, because the Thing, on one hand, is very self-conscious about his appearance. He thinks he's a monster. But She-Hulk thinks that her alter ego, her Hulk form, is what she feels more confident in. And it's really interesting to think about how the Thing wishes he could be human, and wishes he could turn human and be human all the time, while Jen, who can transform human, chooses to look like the way she does. And I just found that really, really interesting. They don't really touch on it as much as I would like them to, but I really hope the Thing comes back and we can discuss that more often. Because although the Thing here does seem like he will be recurring due to the fact he's part of the sparring club, but still, I think the Thing and She-Hulk have a genuinely have an interesting friendship bond here, and that should really be touched on more and explored as the comic goes forward. Afterwards, She-Hulk goes back to work, and she comes back to her office to find Captain America, Nova, Spider-Woman, Moon Knight, Nightcrawler, Shang-Chi, Wong, and Mr. Fantastic are all waiting there to hire her. But her boss doesn't want any more superhero cases, and has to explain to her friends why she can't exactly help them. I also really want to know, what did Wong do? Like, why does he need to hire a lawyer? Like, what did he do? Anyways, after seeing she wasn't able to exactly tell them no because she felt bad, she feels obligated to tell them yes. Therefore, she tells them that she'll take on their cases but discreetly, with her boss knowing. which I'm excited for an upcoming issue where we see Nightcrawler on the cover with She-Hulk, since he's my favorite male comic book Marvel character. Well, She-Hulk is my favorite female Marvel comic book character. Yes, I know I like blue and green people, except the Kree. Sorry if I find any Kree fans; they're just not my favorite in comics. She-Hulk afterwards, when everyone has a letter from Mr. Fantastic, she asks him to check her gamma radiation, to which she does. I mean, he does, sorry. And it's normal, meaning Jagged Hearts hasn't been affecting her powers in any capacity. Jen later then meets Jagged Hearts on a park bench after work, where they talk about detective work and finding out what happened to Jack. Jagged Hearts then says she's the only person he trusts, but then states he kind of trusts Scott. We also see another editor's note saying that Jen will have to tell him eventually about the zombie version of him that blew up Scott and Avengers Mansion. Don't worry, Scott came back. That was a long time ago. Anyways, as the two walk across a bridge, Jen tries to recount Jack's steps, how he ended up crashing into her apartment, because that is still very confusing to her. But he just shoots her down, explaining he remembers nothing. Jack then complains about the smell of Brooklyn, as they just chat about what happened. We also see a nice moment when Jen talks about how she feels confident when she's She-Hulk, because she likes not being seen as a possible victim to people, because how tall she is and how it's intimidating to people. But this also all happens as Jack talks about how he admires bubble tea, coming across like he doesn't care about Jen's feelings. It really comes across like that to me. Also, why bubble tea? No offense to bubble tea fans, but I find it really gross. Jen starts to name possibilities on how he could have come back, one of which is maybe he's a clone, which is what I have my money on. The comic ends when we see someone off panel screams, "Jack of Hearts, I found you." This issue, in my opinion, was good. Although I think they're carrying this Jack mystery plot out a little too long at this point. Not saying it can't be an arc, but there's no build-up. We're not learning anything new. We're just constantly being told the same old about Jack not remembering anything. Well, yes, I think it was an interesting build-up for the first 3 issues. This issue, it comes across very much like treading water, because of this entire comic book, this issue in particular, the stuff with Jack is probably the least interesting. Jen, in my opinion, really shines the best in her moments with the Thing. Well, I think Jack, in my opinion, like I said, it's my opinion, is really just not like a non-entity at this point. He's meant to be this big mystery, but he's just always confused, and the constant confusion of his character from the first issue to this one hasn't progressed or developed him in any capacity. Instead, he's just constantly confused about what's going on. Meanwhile, She-Hulk, on the other hand, is very funny and also very compassionate with how she feels like obligated to help her friends out. I enjoyed her club with Jen Titania and Volcana. I want to see more of that, because, like I said, I love seeing these 4 characters interact. Well, I have no clue who's yelling at them on the street. I hope it's not Hellcat just thirsty for Jack. It's like, Jack, I found you. Want to have a one-night stand even though I'm engaged to Iron Man? But I don't think it is, seeing I checked who's in next issue and she is not. But unfortunately, neither is the Fight Club characters, which is unfortunate because I really want to see more of them. You probably will, but just not next issue. I also love seeing She-Hulk's point of view of herself as both Jen and She-Hulk. That Jen to her is a victim, which is important to say that it's her idea of herself. It's not what actual people see it for. Because Thing makes sure that she knows that, yeah, you're Jen and She-Hulk are both great lawyers. And they're the same person, but still. Which I think is another reason why Thing is a better best friend than Hellcat. So Jen sees herself as weak and a victim, while she sees She-Hulk as intimidating due to how tall she is. But in the reality of it all, unlike her cousin Bruce Banner, Jen is She-Hulk and Jen, because she's very well aware of when she's either. She's not out of control, she's fully in control of both personalities. Because it's not a personality disorder. They're just the same, they're literally the same person. Which I think is such an interesting concept to me, which is another reason why I'm really upset when I see so much hate for the upcoming She-Hulk show, saying how she's just a female Hulk. Which is not true in any capacity. She is her own character, and a very strong one at that. I also enjoy seeing that the Hulk, in my opinion, isn't in this series so far. Instead, I think her relationship with the Thing is a lot more interesting to see how the Thing sees himself and how She-Hulk does. In fact, it kind of works more than with She-Hulk and Thing than it does with She-Hulk and Hulk. Maybe that's just my opinion on it, but honestly, I think from that one panel, it does so much more of a She-Hulk and Thing's relationship as friends than her cousin relationship with her cousin than has throughout eras. Well, I love seeing Hulk and Shield interact. Their more development as characters together doesn't really work as the same thing as the Thing and She-Hulk, which is another reason why I really, really want to see more of that, because just the idea of putting these two characters together at all, in a platonic way, I mean, not a romantic way, but platonic. Maybe you could go a romantic route, but I think platonic is a better idea. Is just an interesting idea with how they see each other, how they see themselves, how Jen sees her different forms, how the Thing wishes he could be his old form, while Jen could, but wishes not to be. There's just so much there that is so compelling. But this issue, in my opinion, the last half of the issue at least, in my opinion, really pulls out the Jack stuff because he's probably one of the least interesting things about this issue. No offense to Jack, because I actually really liked Jack in the first 3 issues, but here at this moment, he's just treading water, like strong. He does not feel like he needs, like his story is not coming together. Instead, it feels like they just don't know what to do with him anymore. And it's only issue 4. So next issue, I hope we get an actual reveal of what happened. Not exactly what happened, of course, but more information about it. Because at this point, I'm getting a little tired of the constant Jack just being confused. And that's my opinion on this issue. I really liked it. I want to see more of the Thing and She-Hulk and Titania and Volcana, and I want answers for Jack. What did you think about it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Leave that all down below, and like always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.